Hello and welcome to the Fairy Coach Tarot channel. Today we have another Pika deck, but we are going to be focusing on healing, right? So we're going to do a chakra spread. So we're going to start by choosing a deck, connecting, choosing a deck, and then we'll see what the tarot advises for our energy to be flowing smoothly through our chakras and what they tell us. All right, so are you ready? Okay, let's get started. Please be seated in a comfortable position and we're going to connect through the breath. All right, take a deep inhale in through the nose. Hold at the top and exhale gently through the mouth, just as if you were blowing a birthday candle. Let's do it one more time. Inhale through the nose, hold at the top, and let go gently, making the exhale longer than the inhale. All right, perfect. So now let's choose one of these fairies or one of the decks, the one that calls more on you. Ready? All right. Let's begin with our pink fairy. And we're going to look at the chakras and what the advice or guidance from the tarot is at this time. All right. So this is a chakra spread. And we're going to start, this will be the crown chakra. Then we have the third eye chakra. And the last one will be on this side, that is the top chakras will be the throat chakra. Then we will do the bridge, that is the heart chakra. That's the bridge between the top chakras and the lower ones. Now we continue to the solar plexus, sacral chakra, and the root chakra. So we're going to start with the root, right? And see that security from above, from beyond, from below. So we have the Empress. And what is the Empress advising for that root chakra? The Empress is all about that feminine nurturing, the feminine energy, that it's nurturing, that is loving, that's creative, that makes life thrive. And it correlates great with the root chakra because right now, what the Empress is advising is for you to give yourself nurturing. Is as if you were reparenting yourself in the same way a loving, understanding mother would, right? So it's very important that you give yourself a lot of understanding, a lot of loving, and it's as if that image of the perfect mother or that mother who takes care of us, right? And if we have had that type of mother in our lives, so we've been very blessed, but others may not have had that type of mothering, or there may have been some difficult parts of the relationship with our mother. So this is a reminder that in order to create security and a good base right now, so our energy at the root chakra flows in a healthy manner, preventing manifestation of issues like sciatica, like lower back pain of any type, right? So that's very important. So it's giving yourself love and security in the same way a mother would. And a good exercise right now would be, if you do have a tarot deck, is to meditate with the Empress, right? The Empress is that archetypal of the loving mother. Now, Let's look at that sacral chakra. So that's between the navel and the pelvic area. So just the lower part of the stomach, and see what it tells us. And this is the Knight of Swords. So, what is the advice for the energy on that part? And that's all. The reproductive organs, all the lower part of the stomach. And here, the Knight of Swords is telling you right now your energy calls for forward movement. So, to handle life just like this night, right? To empower yourself and say, I'm not gonna act in life from the point of passivity, but I'm going to engage with life and I'm going to be active moving forward, right? So, this is the advice for our sacral chakra. Now, let's look at the solar plexus, the creativity in us. And this is the above the navel part of like the upper stomach, right? And to take care of that, the tarot advises the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands, we have this beautiful image here of happiness, right? And it's a four. So, what is it telling us? It's telling us that it's important right now to feel that we have a good foundation, that we have a good home, stable home, a stable foundation of where to feel safe. And this is very important right now for our solar plexus energy, right? So, that making sure, I would say, to create a home or a space for you in your home that feels safe, that feels welcoming, that feels like a home for your soul to be creative, to feel good, right? One of the things that would help with this is also doing that exercise of visualizing yellow light, because yellow is the color of that solar plexus chakra. When you are in that space, that safe space or sacred space in your home, or even if it's your entire home. All right, so now we go to that bridge that is our heart chakra, that it's between the lower ones and the upper ones. And what is the advice here? And it's the Queen of Cups. And what a perfect card for our heart chakra, because who's the Queen of Cups? The Queen of Cups is the feminine energy that embodies with cups love, emotions, right? And what's the advice of the tarot for our heart chakra and for the energy in that part? And it is to own your emotions, just like this queen. This queen is emotional, is intuitive, but not emotional in a way that she cannot manage her emotions. To the contrary, she feels them. She has curiosity for those emotions, right? She nurtures her emotional and her intuitive side. So it's just to become like this queen. It's not to block any emotions, but to feel them, to own them, to step into your truth when it comes to your emotions. Now, this takes us to our throat chakra, right? And we're moving on to the top ones. And this is communication, is it's everything around that throat, mouth, and all this upper part here. Above the chest. And here we have the Two of Pentacles. And what does the Two of Pentacles tells us? You know, balance. Balance between what needs to be said, what needs to be expressed following this queen, but also balancing of like pausing and understanding that not everything needs to be said. All right. So, in that sense, yes, you need to express in an assertive way your truth. And in the other way, it's make sure that your truth is not hurting another person, right? So it's that balance of being loyal and fair to yourself, to your truth, to your emotions, but be careful how you communicate so it does not wound someone else. All right. And we continue, we go up to the third eye chakra. That's our intuition, seeing clearly, and sensing clearly, I would say as well. And we have the star. It's just, you cannot make it up with the tarot. This is perfect. So, what is the star telling us now when it comes to that energy around our third eye chakra? And it's saying, you need to have faith. It's about opening up to faith and opening up to really owning or really coming to the sense of saying, yes, I am intuitive. Yes, I do get divine messages, sensations from my spirit guides, and owning it, following it, having also faith. So, following that star. It's a beautiful card, and continuing with the theme of visualization and meditation, when you want to feel more intuitive, visualizing with this card at this time, and putting this card and visualizing being part of that scene and having the star come to you, those messages, and saying, what do I need to know right now? Send me signs, or repeating an affirmation such as, I am highly intuitive. I trust my inner knowing, and visualizing yourself embodied inside this indigo color light. All right, and we continue to the crown chakra, the most spiritual chakra of all, and that is the Page of Wands. And what is the advice here? The advice of the Page of Wands, when it's about spirituality and the energy that comes from above, is just saying, keep an open mind and kind of a growth. Spirituality is not about knowing everything or having certainty. It is about being open, open to growth, open to receiving messages. You know, the page stands for a growth mindset, and also for receiving messages. So this is just stay open, and adopt a growth mindset when it comes to spirituality, that there are no certainties. It is what we feel, what we sense, and how it resonates with our life. So, this is your reading, the chakra reading. If you've picked the pink fairy or this deck, and it's giving you an advice on each chakra, what it needs right now, for the energy to flow. Remember, energy that comes from above, so and then also from below. So as above, so is below, as below is it is above, right? So everything flows from below and from up. So having this sense of where there are blockages or how to open up the flow better in each chakra is very helpful. And this is what a chakra reading in tarot does. Now, if you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. We will continue doing healing videos and chakra spreads. I will have a chakra spread pre-recorded reading on my shop, and you can visit my shop and see this pre-recorded chakra reading. You can also make an appointment for a live session with me, and we can certainly do the chakra spread to take a look at healing and how the energy is flowing at any specific moment. Okay, perfect. So let's move on to the next fairy, the blue fairy. If you've picked this deck. Perfect. So for those of you who have picked the blue fairy, let's see what the advice of the tarot with that chakra spread is. All right, let's connect with the cards. Perfect. So here we have our crown chakra, and we have two cards for the third eye chakra. And here we have the throat one, and what I call the bridge between the top and the lower chakras, that is the heart. And we have solar plexus, sacral chakra, and the root chakra. Let's see. Let's start with what the root chakra is, the advice of the tarot for that root chakra is. And this is the Queen of Chalices, right? Queen of Cups. And what is this Queen telling us, or what's the advice when it comes to that root chakra? And this Queen is telling us about how embracing our emotional side will offer security right now. So the security that we need in our root chakra, this Queen is advising us that it comes from an emotional safety, right? So what does that mean? That means that here is where discernment comes in. So it's important to stay in places where you feel emotionally safe. And how do you feel emotionally safe? That's by feeling that you can express your emotions, be it by talking about them, or if you need to cry, or whatever you need to do, but that you feel safe expressing yourself emotionally. This is the advice of this Queen when it comes to the root chakra. And what does that mean? It means that when you feel emotionally safe, that energy in the root chakra flows in a way that it's healthy, and therefore everything in the lower part of the abdomen, that lower part of the back, all these lower parts of the body feel healthier. Why? Because they are all supported by the root chakra, and the root chakra needs safety. And this Queen is telling you to work on that, work on emotional safety. Be in places and with people that make you feel emotionally safe, and remove yourself from situations where you do not feel safe emotionally. Now, let's look at the sacral chakra, right? And that's all about empowerment. And we got the Two of Wands. What a beautiful card with this fairy. What does the Two of Wands tell us when it comes to that sacral chakra, and what is the advice? The Two of Wands is, it's wands, it's fire, right? And that goes very well down in our sacral chakra. And what this is saying is be able to choose things that light you up. So that fire in wands is like a spark. And when we have the Two of Wands, it's to make choices out of what feels good, and in the sense of what lights you up. So one little ritual or guidance that the tarot is giving us with that is, whenever you have to make a choice and you want to see how connected you are with the energy down in that sacral chakra, you will put one hand, sorry, I moved the camera. So you will put a hand or both hands down on the lower abdomen, right? And make sure that you're sitting in silence. You are in a place where you cannot be disturbed, and breathe deeply through the diaphragm and really think about the options standing in front of you. And really feel your body, really sense which one of those options gives you that spark of life inside, feels good, gives you that warmth of like saying, yes, this is the way. This is the way, right? So that's what the advice for that energy in the lower stomach, that sacral chakra, right? Connected to our reproductive organs, to everything in that lower part of the abdomen, of the stomach, of all of that part. So between the navel and the pelvic area. So this is the advice for the sacral chakra. And now we go to the solar plexus, and here we have the hermit. And this is very interesting because the solar plexus is all about creativity, right? Creativity, optimism, expressing in not through communication, but expressing yourself in other ways, and that creativity. And the hermit at this time is saying, go within. It's time to go within and connect with yourself, right? And it follows the same advice of the sacral chakra that is telling you connect within when you have to make decisions. Well, this is connect within when thinking about projects, about work, anything that's creative, right? And it's do not seek outside of yourself for that inspiration, but it is to go within and connect, just like the hermit card, right? The hermit is the one that's in solitude, connects with himself or herself, and then brings the light forward. So this is about connecting with yourself when it comes to that solar plexus chakra. Again, the color associated with the solar plexus is that yellow color. Now let's look at the bridge between the lower chakras and the upper ones, and that is the heart chakra. And we have the Three of Swords, right? And what an interesting card for the heart chakra and the advice that it gives us, because this is a card really connected with the heart. And we see in traditional tarot that there is that heart with the swords. And what is the message from this card, right? And how, what advice is it giving us when it comes to the heart chakra? And the advice that it's giving us is to actually take care of our heart. It is like that proverb of that mostly says, protect your heart. And here is what it's advising, is protect your heart. You have to understand that the heart, or that heart chakra, is the emotional base of everything. So it needs to be cared for. You need to be in relationships of people that take care of your heart and do not dismiss you, do not harm you emotionally, right? So what is this card saying? Protect your heart. And it's interesting because here for the root chakra, we had the advice of the Queen of Chalices that tells you, you know, you need to create emotional safety. And now we're seeing at the heart chakra that is bringing a very similar advice of protecting your heart. So please pay attention to this, because when these two cards, the way they are coming out, they are giving us a very interesting advice. You need emotional safety at this time. that's your root chakra, and you need to protect your heart, and that's for your heart chakra. So these are very, very important messages that are linked together. So please remember, be with people at this time that offer emotional safety, that are loving, that take care of you and your heart, right? So prioritize this. I think when we get these two messages, it's very important right now to protect your emotional energy, your emotional well being. Now, we're going up to the top chakras, and we're going to the throat chakra. And what do we have? More cups. Interesting. We have the Four of Cups in this time, the Four of Chalices. And what message does this card bring when it comes to our throat chakra and that energy of communication and expressing your truth? And here it says, be assertive with your communication and do not be passive, right? It's please make sure that you are saying the things that need to be said. That's very important right now. And when I connected with these Three of Swords and with that Queen that wants emotional safety, and this is telling us it's very important to express boundaries, right? Do not be passive when expressing your boundaries. You have the right to set healthy boundaries, right? To protect your heart. All right. So we're going to move it over here. And now we got two cards for that third eye chakra. And we got interesting the Lovers and the King of Pentacles. And what do these cards bring together? What's the message here when it comes to the third eye chakra, that intuitive part of yourself, that with that energy that gives you clear understanding and clear knowing of and sensing of what's going on? So it's again, we have the Lovers, that the Lovers is choosing from love, choosing from that energy of love. And here, when we put it together with the King of Pentacles, that is stable, that is rational, that is generous, right? And is saying, manage your emotions when it comes for that third eye chakra. Manage your emotions so you do not cloud your intuition. All right. So intuition comes to us in different ways. We may feel that we receive messages from the divine. We may feel sensations in our body, right? And that's that intuition telling us things. But here, what this is saying is, do not confuse trauma, emotional triggers with your intuition, right? And make sure that you are managing your emotions in a way that you differentiate when the intuition is a message that comes from love, from the best for your soul's evolution, or when it's a message that keeps you in fear, trapped in negativity, because that's like some pain emotions that need to be resolved. So be like the king, manage everything, but when it comes to your emotions, so you can feel that intuition coming out clearly. And now we move towards the spiritual chakra. That's our crown chakra, and how we connect to the spirituality. And here we have the Fool. What's the Fool telling us? The Fool is going on an adventure, right? And the Fool is saying it's time to grow spiritually. It's time to perhaps start reading, start listening, start opening up to different ways or different spiritual teachings. If you have a specific spiritual path that you feel very connected with, it doesn't mean that you need to leave your spiritual path or your faith. It just means open yourself up to the adventure of hearing things from another perspective spiritually, because your energy, we always grow. Even if we resonate with something or we do not resonate, we grow from that exposure. And this is saying, be adventurous with your spirituality, in the sense, read, listen, watch more, or connect to, or try to understand different spiritual paths and where they come from. Do not be rigid, right? So I think you have a great reading, chakra reading, that is very focused on emotions. Here we have emotions. And what I would take as the basic message for this reading for you is really what these three cards talk about when it comes in the context of the root chakra, the heart chakra, and the throat chakra. And it is: create emotional safety. Be only in places and with people that give you that emotional safety. Guard your heart. Protect your heart from those that do not treat it well. And um, be active in building boundaries at this time that protect you. All right. If you've liked your reading, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And also remember to visit my website and my store, my new Gumroad storefront, in which I have different offerings. And I'm going to put that offering for pre-recorded chakra spreads like we did today, but specific to you and your situation instead of a general reading. And also know that if you want to book a live session with me and you want to particularly focus on the chakra reading, we can certainly do that as well. So visit my website and my Gumroad store for more on that. And so now let's go and look at the yellow fairy and this deck. All right, so let's connect with the deck and look at what the tarot advises us for each chakra. All right. So we have 2 for our crown chakra. Oh, 2 for our third eye. Interesting. And our throat chakra. Lots of 2s here. And our heart. And I would say this is 2 again for our solar plexus. Let's just make sure if 2 want to come out. 1. I would say 2 again. Interesting. And last but not least, our root chakra. Okay, so let's begin. And we're going to begin with the root chakra and see what it has for us. And the advice it has for us comes from the Page of Swords. And how does this page relate to our root chakra? Here is telling you, again, be open for growth and for communication. So what this is telling us is that that safety that your root chakra energy needs right now will come from communication and understanding. So from being more understanding about the things around you. So being more tolerant and open, right? And also from the way you communicate. And we will see what our throat chakras guidance is here, but for that safety, it's asking for openness and communication, being tolerant with ourselves and with others and with circumstances, but at the same time, staying true to our truth, right? This is, remember, the root chakra is a lot about safety. It's that energy we need to feel safe. And this is what requires or what will help us with that. Let's see, we'll put it down here because we have a lot of cards. And let's see if we move things around. Maybe we'll make it all fit at this time. And here we got two interesting cards, cups, when it comes through sacral chakra. And wow, wow, wow. So the sacral chakra, the advice for that sacral chakra, for that inner power that we need, feeling empowered, of feeling feeling also beautiful. This is what I have here. And it's very important that we fill our own cup so it overflows, right? This is usually the advice of the Ace of Cups, that we receive the love of above, and we fill our own cup so we overflow in others. And at the same time, we give from that overflowing to others. So the message, the core of the guidance for that sacral chakra is: make sure that you are giving love to yourself and to others in equal parts, right? So that you are giving love to yourself is the gratitude of knowing the love that comes from above, from the divine to you. So you practice self-care and you give a lot of love to yourself, but you also become generous, and you give with generosity your love to those that care for you, that are in your life. And that is by expressing your love, by doing things for them, but not only focusing on you, although that's the basis, right? Because the cup needs to overflow, but also extend it to others. All right. And we go to that solar plexus, creativity, and we have the Emperor and the Eight of Wands. Again, interesting. You got two cards almost for every chakra. How interesting is this? So the Emperor, when it comes to here, how it links these two cards with the solar plexus chakra and your creativity, and all those parts of the upper abdomen. And here the Emperor is saying, okay, we need to create some order, right? So ask yourself, what aspects of your life or your physical space need order right now? So here you need to put order, because once you create that order, what's going to happen? Things that you've been waiting for, things that you want, are going to start happening. So the advice is create order, both in you, what parts of your life need to be ordered and organized, and outer order, what needs in your home, in your space, in your office, what needs to be more, create that order and that space, because the energy flows different when there is order, when there is cleanliness. It is silly sometimes to think, but yes, it makes a difference. If you organize, put things in order and clean them physically, it changes the energy for you as well. So this is advising, please create order, organize, and then you will see how the energy around certain things starts to shift, and it will benefit that solar plexus chakra, that part that it's the upper abdomen, right? And here we're moving into that bridge, that emotions, our heart chakra. And here comes the World and the Page of Wands. Again, two interesting cards, and the world is saying you need to embrace endings, but not endings that are necessarily painful, because the world is a very positive card. It's just remembering that you need to move on from certain things. It's time to close the door and move forward, not stay stuck in what used to be, in old situations, in old relations, but move forward, because there is a new chapter to be created, and it's a new chapter that will bring many interesting things, that will bring when I see wands, I always see a spark of life, right? Because it's that fire energy and also that magic one. And it's saying it's time to close the chapter on some things and move forward. See how he's moving forward, because you will be creating great things, or and other types of relationships, or other things that your heart energy needs, but it needs to come from first closure with certain aspects. So ask yourself right here, what relationships or what things do I need to set as closure so I can move on? And now, this is interesting because of the root chakra, that we were going to look at the throat one. And the throat chakra is asking for the 9 of Wands. And this is telling us very clearly that it is time to acknowledge things from the past that have been extremely painful and have not been acknowledged. Because when you acknowledge them, even to yourself, when you see certain things from truth, you can move on and heal, right? And it's that acceptance of what was, knowing that what is or what will be different. But that acceptance, that telling yourself and acknowledging the truth of anything that was painful in the past. And when we look at the root chakra, like I was telling you before, that it's the root chakra for safety needs openness and needs assertiveness. When we see now here in the throat chakra that it's that acknowledgement of past pain, is asking yourself, how do I need to name it to give me that security? Who do I need to let them know that there was some pain that they caused in the past? Not as an accusation necessarily, because then they may become defensive, but just as an acknowledgement to yourself. A good exercise to do sometimes is to write a letter that you do not send, right? Is that unsent letter in which you acknowledge and you give yourself that permission to acknowledge everything that you've been through. All right. And we're going to now see the 2 cards, the advice that comes for your third eye chakra, that come from the Empress and from the 5 of Pentacles. And the beautiful Empress, that motherly energy, right? And is what is the advice when it comes to that third eye chakra? It is to nurture your intuition. The advice is very clear. Right now, it's about nurturing that intuition to the maximum, doing, if you have practices or exercises that open up that intuition, meditating on that indigo light, meditating with crystals, reading books about intuition. So opening up that channel, nurturing and making it grow. Because, and the reason why what this is moving is because by opening your intuition, you will come out of thoughts or a situation that is creating fear, right? That there is some fear, and or there is something in your life that it's not only fear or limiting beliefs, or that it's a situation that is not making you happy. And here it's saying the way to do this is by connecting with that intuition, by nurturing, by growing your intuitive gifts is the way forward. All right. And last in this is the connection to our spirituality, our crown chakra, and we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. And here, the Seven of Pentacles. Look how hard he worked and he nurtured the things that he wanted to manifest. And this is what he's telling you. He's telling you, for that energy, for your connection to spirituality and your crown chakra, this is, you need to spend more time tending to your spiritual self. And again, it correlates with that third eye that says nurture your intuition. So here we have what to focus on. I would say a lot, in from what I see in all this reading, is that connection um, to your spirituality and nurturing your intuition, right? Because here it also says, it will help you move forward from something that you may not be seeing a way out right now. And by growing spiritually and nurturing your intuition, new insights may come, and you will feel victorious about something, right? So those new insights, and it will you will feel more empowered, um, and you will feel that you're moving forward. You've changed something that needed that change. So, what I see that is important in this reading would be connecting or more to your spirituality, nurturing your intuition, and here that heart chakra of making sure there are some things that you close the door on, some endings, so you can move forward, right? And creating order. So this, you got a very interesting reading. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and remember, again, visit my store for pre-recorded readings, as well as with pre-recorded chakra readings and live sessions, so we can really dig into your particular situation. There is something for every budget. And again, thank you for following me and for listening to this video. Have a wonderful rest of your week.